Nick Saban is the greatest college football coach in history. His 7 national titles attest to that. No one else has been able to put up such a record. We're recording this today for young athletes to help you learn from even the great Nick Saban's mistakes that we know he regrets to this day. Saban's last national championship was in 2020, an incredible season he put together. At the time, he benefited from the tremendous mind of Steve Sarkisian, his offensive coordinator. Sarkisian was legendary on recognizing the fundamental importance of using formations and motion to be able to get your players in a position to perform at their best, making the most of their talents. It's a basic concept, but Sarkisian's focus on that unlocked Alabama's road to an extraordinary season, one for the record books. Tragically, for Alabama fans, after Sarkisian left, Saban arguably made the biggest mistake of his career. In the ensuing seasons, he surrounded himself with advisors who, instead of focusing on the key basics, talked about what they were good at and built game plans around themselves rather than their talent. This was personified in Saban's choice to hire Tommy Rees as offensive coordinator in Saban's last season. Ironically, hiring Rees inflected Marcus Freeman's program at Notre Dame, but what it did to Saban was it brought him a strategy that was focused not on his talents, but on the ideas of his coach. Rees inherited arguably the best offense in the country. The quarterback, Jalen Milroe, now a member of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, was accompanied by a stable of running backs that was probably the best in the country. But instead of focusing on his players and his talents, Rees pushed a plan through that he was familiar with, putting Milroe probably in as bad of a position as you possibly could to make the least of his tremendous talents. And the running backs, their talents also were largely wasted. My opinion, look at the numbers. Despite having the most talent, Alabama was 54th in the country in offense that year. When you see Saban talk today on ESPN Game Day, he'll reference the importance of having a strategy built around the player's talents. And if you look in his eye, you can tell he regrets that he lost sight of that focus by not having advisors in place that would do just that. Focus on what's most important. Consider the lessons learned. Saban's protégés include Kirby Smart. Smart went to Georgia. He was so focused on the basics. He said, everything we're going to do is about running the ball or stopping the run. Smart went on to win 2 national championships, the first in the playoff era back-to-back ever done by any coach. And how about this season? Another Saban protege, Curt Cignetti, went to Indiana, thought to be a program that was hopeless. Cignetti brought with him 2 coordinators, Mike Shanahan and Brian Haynes. Like Cignetti, an intense focus on what was most important, on the basics. Remarkably, that coaching staff would have in-season practices on Mondays and Fridays, literally only 30 minutes. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, an hour and a half. Why? They said, we're going to focus on the basics. We're going to let nothing distract us from that. The outcome, extraordinary. I want to make the analogy to you that you need to recognize your career is like a game day. It's brief. You want to make the most of it. And you want to surround yourself with advisors who recognize what is in your best interests, who do what financial history says is important, and they don't just backslap you, glad hand you, take you to dinners, and talk about things that they can make money from at their firm. You need to see the game film of finance, the history of money. There are 2 things every young earner needs to understand. Look me in the eye, because I'm going to promise you, If you do these two things when you're on your deathbed, you will be pleased that you did. No regrets. Number one, most importantly, you have to spend less than you earn. If you overspend your income, there's nothing any investment program can do with you. Just as you instilled your discipline to go to the weight room and the track, you have to instill financial discipline. Spend less than you earn. The second key that you want to focus on is you want to diversify your holdings, your assets, in a manner that is complementary to your goal. Your goal to win the national championship in finance, meaning to be wealthy when you die, to have wealth to pass on to those you love, and to live a life with your future family that will bring you great joy and give great blessings to them. History is clear. You need to diversify at least a portion of your portfolio if you want to optimize your wealth in defense. And what has been the greatest defense in financial history? Physical gold. Nothing else can compare to its track record. Literally, going back thousands of years, there hasn't been one war, one bankruptcy, one insurrection, one famine that caused gold to become worthless. It has never gone to zero. It carries no guarantees. But again, like a game film technique that shows up again and again and again with study, gold has succeeded through a myriad of problems. You want some because the probability is high that it is going to continue to protect wealth. This is not to say sell everything and buy gold. You can still have the majority of your portfolio in whatever stocks you think are most exciting or whatever other strategies you may employ. But just like a head coach like Nick Saban would never have a whole assistant staff who only knew history as wide receivers. He would build a staff, a team of advisors to him to implement his strategy that were specialists in their various areas. You want a wealth team that is complementary to your goals. You'll have a specialist on your wealth team that knows real estate. You'll have one for financial products. We would like to earn a seat at the table for you to consider as the wealth specialists who focus on physical gold. We're not trying to sneak anything by you and get a quick sale. Just the opposite. Invite your parents, your coaches, whoever you respect the most, and let's study the game film of finance together. Let's talk about how employing an appropriate percentage of your net wealth into physical gold complements a well thought out financial plan and positions you for the best tomorrow. Don't make the mistake that Saban made, that he will admit he made. You want to focus on these key basics for your success. We're hosting a seminar, a webinar that will unpack asset allocation, positioning you for the best opportunities ahead. Click on the link, sign up for free, and again, invite whoever you respect to join and to dialogue with us. Because the more you dig into this game film, the more you're going to understand this brings wisdom with this strategy. Life is not a dress rehearsal. You want no regrets. God bless, and God bless America.